Hey guys, long time no see. I know this year I've been pretty terrible at producing videos and content for you. I don't know exactly what it was for me this year, but it's just been an off year for me, and I do apologize for that. But recently somebody did comment on one of my videos that really took me to heart, and believe it or not, I do read every single comment, and at one point I will respond back to every single comment. But your support does help, and it does give me the confidence to make videos again. So I do thank you for your support and continuing to stay subscribed and staying watching my videos even after all this years. Some people are with me for 3, 4, or almost 4 years now. So I do appreciate that. So I wanted to make an open heart one-on-one video where I share with you my experience of being in the military so far, and I titled this video, "Is the Navy as easy as I thought it would be?" Right? And it says obviously no. I wanted to share with you 3 main things. I personally joined the military for money, right? There's no hiding that. And number 2, I'm kind of reading my notes here. In terms of work ethic, it really taught me a lot, right? And number 3, the biggest takeaway, I guess, what my biggest takeaway is being in the military. And this is something that I definitely value, that I've been able to go through this experience, and I'm still going through it. And it's the biggest struggle and the biggest difficulty in terms of all the lessons that I'm going through. So I wanted to share with you those 3. So number 1, I joined the military for money. Right? Above anything, right? I joined the military for money, and there are always going to be those individuals who say, "Oh, you should have joined the military to serve instead of money." And to those people, you know what? To some degree, you may be right. But you know what? I challenge you, right? You join the military and give all your money away, and you just serve and see where that takes you. And I promise you, it's not gonna take you to a place where you are too happy with. Okay. The military is designed to pay you a lot of money. It's incentivized to people to join the military, right? And also try to prolong their stay as long as possible by incentivizing people with monetization, right? So I'm personally all for the money, but at the end of the day, right, the quality of my work isn't what I believe is what I'm being paid. Yeah, I personally believe that at the end of the day, the product of my work is something that the taxpayers can be proud of, and I'm also proud of, right? I personally believe my work ethic and my work quality is worth a lot more. But at the end of the day, the military pays you a set pay, right? In the beginning, I thought it was going to be easy, right? Before I joined, I thought it was going to be easy. I'm just going to eat the food on the ship, live in the ship, don't spend any money on anything. But that's actually very hard to do, right? In terms of food on the ship, the culinary specialists that make the food are overworked, underappreciated, and underpaid, in my opinion. So the quality of their food isn't great sometimes. And food is a big thing for me. So I need to eat good food to kind of keep my day going and boost my morals. And so that's very important. And also living and sleeping in the ship. Personally for me, I don't have a problem with that. A lot of other people do. They don't want to live and sleep and work in a place that they're going to be in for the next 4, 5, or 6 years of their life, or even 7 sometimes for some people. And so spend money that way, living off the ship, apartments, living and renting with other people. And so, I understand that. And also, the next thing would be not spending money on anything. I personally, once a year, go on great vacations, right? First year, went to Korea. Second year, went to Disney World. Third year, this year, went to Brazil. And fourth year, I don't know exactly where I want to go, but I kind of want to go to Disney World again with my girlfriend. So I do spend a lot of money going into good vacations that, at the end of the day, it's a good refresher for me to charge my batteries and, kind of go after this military thing again. And so that's point number 1 in terms of money, right? That's one of the biggest things that I learned. It's not as easy as you think to save money in the military. And I think overall, I think I did a pretty good job, but I'm not as good as I thought it would be. If I had to save everything, I think right now I have right about $45,000. But I definitely think I could have saved to $70,000 if I had saved everything and not done any go on vacations or spend money on food and everything. So Point number two is in the civilian world, you work 40 hours a week, and sometimes you work overtime, right? And you get paid accordingly. But in the military, right, for me, being out at sea, at minimum, I'll work 13 hours. But on average, for about 15 hours from Sunday to Saturday. So on average in a week, I work right about 100 and 100 and, a little bit over 100 hours a week. And it is tiring, and it does build, it did build me a big work ethic, right? At the end of the day, my heart is not with the military, right? I don't enjoy what I do. I do produce good quality work, but I don't enjoy what I do. So having to spend 100 hours a week on the busiest times, right, being out at sea, it is difficult for me. But it is a lesson that I learned that I can take back into my civilian world after I get out. That I'm going to be able to spend 100 hours a week building my own business, building my own company, which is what I want to do, which is what I'm excited about. And which is something that's I never thought was possible, but being in the military definitely makes you believe it, and definitely makes you do it, right? So I do appreciate the military for that. And in terms of is it easy as I thought it would be in terms of the work? Definitely not, right? Spending 100 hours a week was not what I expected to be doing. And lastly, the biggest lesson, the biggest takeaway that I'm going to take from this experience, being on a ship, being on an aircraft carrier, is perspective. And perspective, it's so easy and sexy for me to say, right? But in practice, it's very hard, right? A lot of people are going to be like, oh yeah, perspective, it's so motivational. Here's what I'm trying to say with perspective. The person that I was before I joined the military, if I didn't like where I was working, right? At first I worked at Hollister, I didn't like it. Upgraded to Abercrombie and Fitch, I didn't like it. Went to work at a watch repair store, right? And then I didn't want to work there anymore, so I changed it and joined the military, right? But in the military, you're stuck with a contract, right? You can't go anywhere else. You can't quit. Right? That does not exist. You can find the loophole and, get yourself kicked out of the military, but you can't just quit honorably, right? You give your word that you're going to serve for a certain amount of time. So I'm on an aircraft carrier working with people that I don't necessarily see eye to eye with. And you're stuck with these people for 4, 5, 6, 7 years for some people, right? And that takes a lot of toll, and that is frustrating. And sometimes, and you can't change your situation, right? You can't control your situation in terms of changing, right? That's how I used to be, right? I didn't like where I was working. I don't like being in an aircraft carrier. I want to do something else, right? I can't, right? So, it made me think, what can I change? And at the end of the day, the only answer that I got was to be able to change my perspective, right? Changing on how I view things, of what I do in the military, of, my role in being in this aircraft carrier, my role in the part of the team that I'm working with, my role in the big picture of what I'm doing for this country. And that is the biggest struggle that I have faced, and you, in my opinion, you are going to face, right? For some of you, you're going to get an easy place and, spend out 4, 5, or 6 years. You're going to get lucky and go to some place that you enjoy. But if you were like me, you might draw the short end of the stick and go to a place where you don't like and get stuck there, and, one bad thing happens after another. And it just ruins and gives you a bad taste of what the military is. And like I said in my previous videos, the military itself is a good program, but at the end of the day, what ruins the military for a lot of people is the people in the military that are screwing each other over. And I've seen that happen over and over again, and I've experienced that. People screwed me over. So in terms of, is the military what I thought it would be? No, when I first joined the military, I thought it's just going to teach me good work ethic, which it did, but it's going to make me a better person and whatnot. But I never really knew how in details, right? I just kind of generally knew how it's going to help me, but in details how it's going to help me, I did not know. And me sharing this with you in terms of money, in terms of work ethic, in terms of perspective, those are the details that I'm kind of learning and going through, that I'm sharing with you, that I hope it gives you some value. So thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. I do read every single comment, like I said, and have a great Navy day.